I believe 60,000 is probably going to be the bottom for this. Like, this is the range that we're working in right now with Bitcoin. I don't want to confuse people too much, so I'm gonna delete this broad information. But basically, this is the range that we're playing in right here, from here to here, like all of this range right here. This is the range that Bitcoin is going to be hovering for a while. I think it's going to get stuck in this range for a while. And like I've been saying, it's either going to, if it ends up coming down here, this would be about a 25% drop, and maybe it finds some support. But if it comes down here, that's a 25% drop, and that's like, we've already had 25% drop from all-time highs where we're at. Another 25% would be around 50% drop, and it could find some support from this area right here. It could find some support here, and that's why I believe. That's why I set my buy zones on here to. That's why I set my buy zones to here. This is my first one, and if we get to this one, I would buy again here. Basically, I split this range up into two halves because I think we might end up seeing some type of bounce right here. We could see some type of bounce, and it could consolidate for another week or so, couple weeks maybe, or we could just ultimately come down here. We could just come down, break this range right here, maybe retest this, and then drop. And like I said, this would be a 25% drop if it comes down here. And I do feel like it'll find some type of support in this, just off of this area right here. This is my analysis of it. I think. All right, and also I'll also look at the Nasdaq market and the S&P 500, because if you look at this, Bitcoin is not the only thing that's dropping. You have you have Nasdaq that's down. Nasdaq is down. Let's see how much. Nasdaq is down about 4%. I really look at it on here. I also look at the QQQ, the actual ETF, because I used to trade stock options for like 2 years. I traded stock options, but I switched to futures, and I've never looked back. But anyway, what you're looking at on Nasdaq is we got a weekly chart right here, and we're a little bearish on the weekly chart, but this is a weak bearish candle right here, because I could easily see this candle being bought back up for the next week, and we end up breaking previous week's high. So this is the only bullish type of signal that I'm getting, but other than that, I mean, look at the chart. It just looks like it just looks like a very small pullback. And that's all I've been looking at. Sometimes I look at GameStop too, because the reason I'm looking at GameStop is because if there people still speculate that there's going to be a GME short squeeze, and some of these contracts, I actually went out. I was looking at November contracts back in like September, but now I would have to go even further out because it just doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe some January calls or something, but like there is there's almost 1 second. The volume and open interest, about 18,000 open interest in here. These are going for $172. So yeah, I kind of look at this. This would be a solely speculation play right here, because GameStop is around $20, and I remember Keith Gale got into GameStop when he bought like $200 million worth of shares. His average was around $23. Ever since then, GameStop's been hovering around $20 to $23, and it's just not going anywhere. And people that invest in it still think GameStop's going to squeeze, and you never know, really, to be honest. So I just keep an eye on it sometimes. Sometimes I think about just getting one of the it like with some throwaway money, just buy one of these call options, and if it 1,000x, then it 1,000x if the short squeeze ever happens. But at this point,